Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Mojo here. Please like, comment, subscribe. I've done a bunch of videos based on Fall from Grace, so please check that out. A recap as well as likes and dislikes video. But let's talk about Hopelessly in Love. Hopelessly in Love, it's a series on Lifetime that focuses on different big, major love stories. This week, being the third week, we're taking a little shift. The first two are more music, hip-hop related. This is still very pop culture, but it's like the other side of the spectrum side. And Nicole Smith and her longtime love, Larry Birkhead. I was the type of person where I actually followed these stories and saw the other documentaries and series in the past, because when it was going on, I was in middle school, maybe / the beginning of high school. And it was interesting to me because I was just trying to figure out, whoa, what is all of this? Whoa, huh? Who is this woman? What is she wearing? What are they doing? And oh no, what happened to her family? Yeah. So if you've even seen one or a couple of documentaries on her, even if they're just like mini ones, you don't learn new stuff per se. You just get more of a humanized look into her life, which is always good. And her mother, we can say that she was a special case. She was a special case due to the fact that apparently her mother was more so the, hey, you're not beautiful, hey, kind of put you down type of mom to Anna in particular. I don't know if she was afraid that her daughter was, because she was beautiful, that she'd attract the wrong type of attention, and she was trying to minimize her daughter, how she felt, so that she wouldn't go and seek certain attention. I don't know. She could have just been mental herself, and she could have been jealous. She could have been envious. She could have not even realized what she was doing. Who knows? But when you put your young child in that predicament of constantly reinforcing negativity to them, then they're definitely going to go and find that positivity from somewhere else. And as we know, she did say that Anna did loved, the rich and famous, kind of glamorous lifestyle. So she's not surprised that her daughter chased after that. Her daughter was supposed to be going and have a regular part-time job, but instead she went and started to, essentially it was either, strip. And she found out later on, Anna had an abusive boyfriend, and that's where her first son was born. And she just needed to be able to support herself while she was kind of doing semi-entertainment stuff here or there. She eventually met the older dude that she actually married, and they got married because she made a promise to him. He helped her out. He supported her son. He supported her family. And in return, so of course her mom's going to say positive stuff about him. So yeah, in return, she would marry him once she made something of herself. And she did. But then things took a left because of the fact that his family, he died, and she wasn't written into the will. So the family contested, and she didn't really end up with much. After her constantly doing other stuff, entertainment-wise, she did land this deal with Guess. And again, I'm not saying all of this in order, but the executives at Guess didn't like her regular name, as far as it not being like polarizing. And if you're going to be a Guess girl, this is so-and-so. This is so-and-so. That they came up with the name Anna Nicole Smith. Wow. Whoever came up with that, they deserve all the money. But yeah, so she already had her son. She was working very hard. She was the type of mom that was more so a friend per se, to her son, which seemed like they had a great relationship. If you guys don't know, her son did die. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But all of this is happening before Larry comes into the picture. Larry Hold on, let me do some research. Yeah, so we're going to move on to Larry. Larry was this shy, wouldn't necessarily call himself timid, but definitely more so shy, reserved kid. Grew up, didn't really have all the confidence in the world. And what ended up happening was he became this photographer and journalist, and he worked his way up. And at one point, his father did own, would he say, some stocks in the races? That sounds weird. Horse races. He was there often at the Derby, and Nicole was there as well. They actually met a couple of times before, I guess, the infamous time where he had, where she kind of fell on top of him and then kissed him. But they had a very fun / tumultuous relationship. Part of that is because of her in-house lawyer. That's how I'll say it, because he did live with her, Howard. Now, Howard, he definitely kind of gave off the vibe of, okay, Larry's here right now. It's making Anna happy, but no. Nah, that's it. That's all that is. And this camera is doing a lot. I talk about Howard and look what happens. The whole thing with Anna and her medical issues, she had seizures as well as other stuff. A lot of that was brought on because of the boob surgery she got. And it started to leak, and it just did all the stuff mess her up internally. Apparently, she was pregnant prior to the second time that she got pregnant. So she did have a miscarriage with presumably Larry's firstborn. And then she was pregnant again, but she was still kind of taking her medication. The doctors were saying it was fine. I find it interesting that Larry wanted to make it very clear that Anna had a stroke the night before she went and presented Kanye West at, what was it, the VMAs one year or something like that, because she was in his music video. And so that's why she was acting so like loopy but I'm thinking, so are we trying to say Anna's issues were more so, nowadays we would say opioid related versus other substances? Because definitely in the past, they made it seem more so like she was doing other drugs instead of maybe like legal pharmaceutical drugs. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that was one of the things that I was thinking, what's going on here? Like even when it came to Larry, I don't know why. Maybe it was like some gossip tabloid trash where I didn't even realize that Larry, like, we're not going to talk about that. If you kind of know where I'm going with that, leave a comment. If not, ignore it. I felt bad for Anna's son, because I do remember hearing that he did not like the limelight, but she loved the limelight, and it brought them a lot of money. And things took a turn because it was just becoming more and more and more. I do like how they showed how Anna, when she did her transformation, and I say her transformation because yes, she had more weight on, but it wasn't just the weight. She wasn't feeling good about herself. And then she did the diet pill, what was it, Trisix? And it was like a full 180. And actually, after she lost the weight because of her new lifestyle, that's when she met Larry again. And that's when they really started to do something. Larry's definitely protective over Anna. Must have been weird for Larry having to deal with Howard, but it's kind of funny how with these celebrities, and I get it, it's expensive where they live. It's expensive to live on your own. So instead of your stylist struggling and having a small hole in the wall and they're your personal stylist, yeah, you take this room in my house. Oh, okay. Now the lawyer, now it's a different situation. But other people, yeah, it makes sense. And you hear that often with celebrities. It's like, you take that room, you take that room, and we're all one big happy family type of thing. When Hannah went to the Bahamas, there was this doctrine that essentially allowed for the woman to say who the father is, and that's who the father would be under the law there. Some type of mess. I said, what? Let me make sure it's the Bahamas and not Barbados. Yep, Nassau, Bahamas. Whew. But Howard, I don't know if he was just saying the stuff about, oh, that's my baby because Anna wanted it to be his, or they also had a relationship going on, or she told him, because they even went and did the commitment ceremony. It was a mess. And this was all around the time of her son who died when he came to go and visit his mom and his new sister in Barbados. Yeah, him dying because of an overdose, and this is just, and then his mom dying, and then Larry having to, I remember that in the news, Larry had to book it down there to try and stop from all these people claiming to be his daughter's father. And I really respect how he went and fought for her, because based on that circus, who knows who would be raising Danny Lynn right now? Who knows? And he's in Kentucky with her, just living a very quiet life. She seems very, I don't like the word normal, but let's say well-adjusted. And I can really respect that. I think that he was a guy from a small town who also had big dreams, and he met someone who had, the things that he thought were just wow. And so it was polarizing. Like he even said, even to this day, he kind of talks about her like she's polarizing. Even to this day, he's like, if I don't even find another person, find anyone else, I'm just like, wow. The love of your life. I find it interesting how with a lot of these shows, usually the quote unquote villain within the relationship isn't there. For example, Lil' Kim wasn't on the show, whether they asked her or not. I don't know how that works. But they mentioned the villain a lot. And I don't know how I feel about the quote unquote villain being mentioned without them having a say, unless they declined. Then that's different. But I don't know. So anyway, that was it. It was 2 hours. It was good. It was good. Again, it was stuff that I knew, but it was cool to see it from someone else's perspective and just the circus around her. And I appreciate Larry saying how a lot of the media made a boatload of money off of her. And yeah, she got paid in return, but let's not pretend like people loved seeing a train wreck, paid good money for it. So to kind of almost like villainize or look down on her, even though, hey, look at you, society. He's not looking at it that way. That's how I am looking at it. So that's interesting. Please like, comment, subscribe. I have a lot of editing to do, so I'll be very busy. Hope to see you next time.